my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
It started like something out of a fairy tale. Quietly, softly, away from the noise of the world. Teyana had been through so much: public breakups, private pain, the constant pressure to be perfect in a spotlight that never dims. And just when it seemed like her heart might finally be healing, Aaron Pierre stepped into her life like the calm after a long, messy storm. No big announcement. No flashy declarations. Just little signs, stolen glances, quiet appearances, a new warmth in her smile. People noticed. Fans whispered. Maybe this was it. Maybe after everything, Teyana had finally found someone who made her feel safe again. But sometimes, what looks calm on the surface is already starting to crack underneath. For weeks, there had been quiet buzz that something big had happened between them. Not breakup drama, but something deeper, something serious. She'd been seen at a private dinner party in Atlanta wearing a new ring. It wasn't blinding, it wasn't loud, but it was beautiful. And it was on that finger. People close to her started confirming what many already suspected. Aaron had proposed. And she had said yes. It was meant to be a secret, something private between the two of them before the world got wind of it. But secrets rarely stay hidden in Hollywood, especially when they involve a woman like Teyana Taylor. The moment a blurry photo of her hand hit the internet, fans began speculating. Within hours, her name was trending. At first, the reactions were mixed. Some fans were thrilled. She deserves to be happy, one person posted. If Aaron makes her feel safe, then I support it. Others weren't so sure. The memories of her breakup with Iman were still fresh in people's minds, and the overlap between that heartbreak and her new romance left some uneasy. But no one expected what would come next. Because while the internet was busy guessing wedding dates and dress designers, Teyana was quietly unraveling behind the scenes. And what happened one night in Los Angeles would flip the entire fairy tale on its head. It was supposed to be a simple get-together. A few friends, some wine, soft music. Nothing dramatic. Nothing heavy. Just space to breathe. But that night, something shifted. According to multiple people who were there, Teyana and Aaron were sitting close when the energy between them changed. What started as a playful conversation turned into a quiet argument, then a louder one, and then complete silence. Friends say Teyana's face fell. She stood up slowly, eyes full of something sharp, something final, and without saying a word, she pulled the ring off her finger and threw it straight at Aaron's chest. It wasn't theatrical. It wasn't for attention. It was raw, real, the kind of moment that doesn't need an audience to matter. I don't want to marry someone who doesn't trust me, she said. And then she walked away. The room was frozen. Aaron didn't chase her. He didn't beg. He picked up the ring, stared at it for a second, and said one thing under his breath. You'll regret this. That's all. No shouting. No begging. Just cold finality. People were too shocked to say anything. No one moved. No one knew what to do. But after that night, nothing was the same again. In the days that followed, the story started to leak. Someone at the party told someone else, who told someone else, and suddenly blogs had it. Teyana Taylor throws engagement ring at Aaron Pierre. Wedding OFF. Massive fight ends in heartbreak. At first, Teyana said nothing. But she started deleting photos, archiving old posts. And then she posted a single sentence on her story. Peace is the only proposal I'm accepting right now. That was it. No mention of Aaron. No ring. No denial. Just peace. Her fans immediately rallied around her, flooding her comments with support, encouragement, and love. But even they could feel it, this wasn't just a bump in the road. This was the end of something she thought would last. So what really happened? According to people close to Teyana, the real issue wasn't one moment or one fight. It was the slow, painful buildup of doubt and pressure. They say Aaron had become more controlling in recent weeks. He allegedly questioned her a lot about her phone, about her schedule, even about her past. Especially Iman. One source said he couldn't let it go. He always brought him on up, like he was competing with a ghost. Teyana, who had worked so hard to move forward, felt like she was constantly being dragged backward. And that wore on her. Deeply. It wasn't just the jealousy. It was the surveillance. The quiet paranoia. Friends say Aaron went through her phone more than once. That he brought up conversations she had with her team, her stylists, even her friends. It was subtle at first, one person said. But then it became suffocating. Teyana, who had just come out of a high-profile breakup, didn't want to feel like she was being watched, judged, accused, again. And the more Aaron pushed, the more she pulled away. But the engagement changed things. Once that ring was on her finger, the pressure doubled. Suddenly, there were expectations, wedding plans, image management. And Teyana, always strong, started to feel like she couldn't breathe. One friend said she'd confided in them just days before the blow-up, saying, "I left one situation because I felt trapped. And now I'm starting to feel trapped again." That's when they knew something was going to give. And give it did. After she threw the ring, Teyana didn't go home. She packed a small bag and left the city entirely. Sources say she stayed with close family, turned off her phone for 2 days, and just sat in silence. No press. No photos. Just stillness. For someone who lives under constant scrutiny, that silence spoke volumes. When she finally came back online, she was different. Calmer. But distant. She posted a picture of a sunrise with the caption, "Sometimes the light hurts before it heals." That post got more engagement than any she'd made in weeks. Aaron, on the other hand, disappeared completely. No comments. No stories. No appearances. Even the usually tight-lipped blogs had nothing to say. It was like he vanished. Some speculated he was embarrassed. Others said he was angry. One insider claimed he was absolutely blindsided, saying he really thought this was going to work. He was already planning the wedding. That ring wasn't for show. But another source said something different, that Aaron had always had control issues, and the engagement was his way of locking her in. He thought she'd never walk away with a ring on her hand, they said. He didn't think she had the strength to end it. But she did. And the aftermath sent shockwaves rippling through their close circle. People didn't just stay silent. They started choosing sides, making quiet but clear declarations of loyalty. Some of Teyana's closest friends quietly unfollowed Aaron on social media, their digital departures speaking louder than words ever could. A few took it further, dropping thinly veiled shades, subtle but sharp enough for anyone paying attention. One wrote, "Never let a man who can't handle your light try to dim it." The post quickly caught fire, fans noticed, screenshotted, and shared it across platforms, turning it into a rallying cry. The message was unmistakable. The crowd was standing firmly with Teyana, no questions asked. Even Iman, her ex, seemed to wade into the waters of this unfolding drama, whether on purpose or by chance. Just an hour after news broke that the engagement had ended, he posted a cryptic Instagram story, a black screen with stark white letters that read, "Told y'all she was too good for the circus." No names. No tags. But names weren't needed, the timing spoke volumes. Was it a direct jab at Aaron? A subtle show of support for Teyana? Or something deeper, something tangled in old wounds and new truths? Whatever it was, it poured gasoline on an already blazing fire. Now fans were left wondering, was Aaron ever really the right one? Or just the wrong one who came along at the right time? Had Teyana convinced herself she was ready to love again before she had fully healed? Or had she been pushed into a commitment she wasn't truly prepared for? The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Love is complicated, especially under the relentless glare of the public eye, and especially when the person loving you still struggles to love themselves fully. Teyana gave Aaron a real chance, but now it's painfully clear he didn't know how to hold that gift without breaking it. And that ring? It wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of hope, of trust, of a future she believed in. When she threw it, she wasn't discarding love. She was reclaiming her power, saying no, saying, I deserve more. Now she's focused on healing, protecting her peace, quietly rebuilding. And for the first time in a long time, she's doing it on her own terms. No timelines, no pressure, just her daughters, and a strength so deep it doesn't need to shout to be heard. The fairy tale didn't end in a wedding, it ended in a lesson. And sometimes that's exactly what it's meant to be.